It's interesting that Waterford was the first to name a main street after O'Connell. Limerick followed, but it was 1898, the centenary of the 1798 Rising. So it was decided in the August meeting, the August 24th meeting, 1886, to change the following streets. King Street and Queen Street, named after one of the Georgian, a number of the Georgian kings and queen, was changed to O'Connell Street. In the 1826 general election in Waterford, the Waterford constituency of that UK-wide election, including Ireland, the Beresfords were challenged by the nationalist cause, and Villiers Stewart's in the national cause because he was sympathetic to the franchise, to parliamentarian resolution representation. He was willing to go forward and champion that cause. So he ran against the Beresford. Now, that election was masterminded by none other but then Thomas Wise. Later, Sir Thomas Wise, the education reformer, etc. But Daniel O'Connell, who had joined the Catholic Association and was its leader, but Wise was also a key figure in the Catholic Association and wrote its history. So O'Connell came to Waterford to assist in that election. They beat what everybody thought impossible, the Beresford. The Beresford were not only an ascendancy family, they were the most powerful ascendancy family in Ireland, hugely influential. So they beat the top for the previous dispute. O'Connell was at the centre of another memorable day in Waterford when the Liberator, politician, who was master of all he's surveyed throughout the length and breadth of the country, held one of his famous repeal monster meetings on the historic hill of Ballybricken, which has witnessed over the centuries many great political meetings and gatherings, but none would match this. It was on the 12th of July, 1843. It is estimated, who was counting, that there was 250,000 people assembled. Now, this was before the railway. They came by boat, they came by pony and trap, they came by walking. O'Connell, who knew how to deal great crowds, he was a great populist. They assembled in Kilmacthomas, 5 or 6, 10 bands, and thousands walked, following O'Connell from Kilmac into the city. People were prodigious walkers back then, you had no choice. Up to Ballybricken, people up Gracedew, everywhere. Famously, people were so far back well ahead of the era of Ye. But people related what was being said at these great meetings, and it was passed back. Irish whispers as opposed to Chinese whispers. And that was a momentous occasion. Tradition has it, the businessman hat been back on, tradition has it that the following morning he went down to the national branch of the National Bank in Waterford in the city centre. Now, the present building was there. They say there's a little plaque saying Daniel O'Connell spoke from here. But that building didn't exist until 1875. So it's quite possible that there was an earlier building on the same site, that he was there and he took an opportunity to say goodbye to people from the upper window of his bank, the National Bank, at number 1 North Georgia Street.